Hello everyone who likes to simulate battles, or the people who don't like to simulate battles. I am Border, also known as Borderwise, and welcome back to RTS commentary. Kind of. We're actually talking about battle simulators today, because I've noticed something in all the battle simulators I've played, including this one, ARBS, Animal Revolt Battle Simulator, one of the more interesting ones. But also things like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, the thing that started it all, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, both the first and the second one, and a few others which I don't remember off the top of my... Oh yeah, Beast Battle Simulator. That one's just kind of weird. Not that this one isn't weird, honestly. So the thing is, battle simulators are the genre now, because it really is a genre, is kind of the dumbed-down version of RTS, which is why I'm classifying this as an RTS commentary, because I'm sure as hell wasn't going to start yet another series I don't update enough. But we love them for that. It's the kind of RTS thing, you see a big fight, you see funny thing, especially if it has wacky physics. That is always a lovely thing, a lovely bonus. But the thing is, the thing that every battle simulator I've ever played has in common is that they are boring. Or rather, they get boring really quickly because there's only so much you can watch little AI units flop at each other. And to be fair, it is quite delightful the first few times you see it. Really, there's only so much you can do before it really starts to get kind of stale, which is why every battle simulator I've ever played, I've played it for maybe a few hours, and then occasionally I come back to it when I have, I don't know, when I just want to see guys walk around, and then pretty much never. So they just don't hold interest the same way other games do, and especially not like the games they are effectively derived from, which are RTS games. But the problem is, RTS games are quite complicated, and take a fair amount of energy. I don't really play them recreationally anymore, unless it's for content. Because it just takes a lot out of you. It's a very cerebral process, there's a lot of multitasking, and it eats the energy that is in your brain, and I guess the rest of you. So yeah, I can't help but feel that there's a middle ground somewhere, and if anyone knows of something that is the perfect middle ground between the kind of almost brainless sandbox battle simulator thing of just having a bunch of units just smack each other, and also having it be kind of more strategic. I guess that game already exists. It's called... What the hell is it called again? It is literally on my desktop. Hang on, I can see it right now. There's no way this is going to end badly. It's called... Damn it. Where the hell is it? Oh no. This is worse than Googling. It's called Mech something. Mech... Where the hell is it? Mechabellum, that's the one. Right, well, I answered my own question. Well, thank goodness my memory is actually good. You didn't see anything, because this is post-commentary edited over this. But yeah, Mechabellum, I guess, kind of is the natural evolution of a battle simulator. Kind of getting to, putting some strategy back into it, because goodness knows, I mean, I guess this kind of has strategy. There is a single-player... pretty much, battle simulators tend to have a kind of single-player thing to them, where you, pick what units to place down, how many, where exactly. But also, it's not incredibly strategic, because you can't just throw stuff at the wall and, until you get something that works. Speaking of which, I'm curious about the kind of people who made this game, because I think this game in particular makes me think of someone who didn't have a hell of a lot of a plan going into this, and they're kind of making stuff up as they go along, which, to be fair, if you make video games that way, there's, absolutely no judgment. If it gets good results, it gets good results, and this gets hilariously silly results, so can't complain, really. A whole faction of mutant apes, which is just gorillas, basically, the most basic unit of which flings their poo. So the ironic thing about me talking about battle simulators being boring is that when I was recording this, I actually was having quite a bit of fun with it. Right up until, it's that kind of... Oh, jeez, they are actually holding the poo. Ew. That's so gross. But anyway. But it was not to last, unfortunately. So, that was kind of the only real salient point I wanted to make. Let's speculate now. I haven't been keeping up with the whole battle simulator thing, but I gotta say, the fact that they're so damn silly, because they do tend to be silly, it's like, watch the thing smack each other. Like, you gotta, honestly, I can't help but wonder if it wouldn't be more fun if they kind of, like, thought about balance, I guess, a bit better. So, like, each, I guess, set of units, each faction, I suppose, is evenly balanced with the other ones, because goodness knows that this ain't. I guess the specific units that can counter other units. And goodness knows it is, Goro the Giant, by the way, legally distinct from King Kong. And if in case you're wondering, like, what my thought process was here, there was actually a thought process, I do have to say. I was going to just start with a team, place another team, see which team wins, and whichever team loses gets replaced with a different team. And about, I don't know, just over 6 minutes into this, we have thrown out the window, and we're just seeing how many giant gorillas it takes to take down this human army, because ranged units in these games tend to be quite overpowered. It's actually quite interesting, like, totally realistic battle simulator is definitely more balanced than this thing. I do have to, my goodness, the ape got flung into a tree. But anyway, is more balanced to this because I seem to recall, like, each faction does have, like, counters to the other ones. The frickin', what is it, the berserkers in Totally Accurate Battle Simulator? Tabs. Those things are really annoying, but they're not impossible. It's all about placement. This, I don't know, I think the whole point is to make something absolutely stupidly overpowered. Like, people have, to be fair to this game in particular, people have managed to make pretty epic things in it. Like, they've managed to make, I don't know, people have, like, essentially remade Godzilla in this. Honestly, there's fun things on the Steam Workshop like that, and I guess the whole point is to make custom units. You get to see some of my custom units, which admittedly are not that imaginative. I just wanted to see if it could be done. Ah, no. We're down one giant gorilla. So many giant gorillas. One of the things I do actually like about this game is the kind of the mixture of, like, physics and, like, how the animation is, like, incorporated into the physics. I think it's really good. I think that ape got shot in the eye. That's pretty shocking, actually. Shocking indeed. So yeah, just keep adding apes, and we finally have resorted to the pink ape. You gotta know it's DEFCON 1 when the pink ape comes out. Whee! Physics. This game does, of course, the amount of physics interaction in this game, I guess with other ones as well. Man, it can make even a pretty good computer chug. In fact, that's probably why physics isn't really a thing in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. That one, I do have to say, is one of the most boring ones. Like, maybe I left my soul in my other pair of shoes. I'm not wearing shoes right now. Hehehe. Yeah, that's why I keep my soul in them, so I don't always need it. But, because there's no wacky physics, and there's no kind of, like, I don't know, shenanigans that can result as a direct result of it, it means it's, like, weirdly predictable, I guess? And there's only so much you can watch, like, millions of little dudes kind of, like, smack each other in pre-baked animations. Also, when I played Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 last, the graphics kept glitching out, so that's nice. Ah, boy. But isn't this just video games in general, though? Just watching things happen on screen that make your neurons kind of, like, go fizz, bzz, tingle, tingle. Oh my goodness. I do like the animation on the ape. On Goro, that's what he's called. Also, legally distinct from Goro from Mortal Kombat. Legally distinct, I swear. Nobody sue. Ah, dear. You're gonna love how people skirt copyright like that. Now we have monsters. Monsters. Actually, it is interesting how often dinosaurs show up in games like this. Although, I guess it's not that surprising because, let's be honest, dinosaurs are cool. demons versus giant gorillas. Who will win? Kind of horrible monstrosity. I suspect a lot of these things, a lot of these models are kind of like things just bought directly off the Unity store. And I just, yeah, this game is made in Unity. If it isn't, I'm gonna feel very embarrassed. Embarrassed. I will be embarrassed by that. Pink gorilla versus horrible demon. Horrible spiky demon. Whee! It looks like the giant gorillas are winning. Do a spin, it's fun. It actually took a few minutes for me to actually kind of remember, like how the controls even work for this game. So yeah, that's why the camera angles, to begin with, were pretty bad. Take a seat. And you gotta love how even horrible demons, they have a little loincloth for the sake of modesty. And there is ape butt. And here is ape front. And here is ape boxing. Whee! That is ape celebrating. That is a very nice ape butt, I do have to say. Lovingly rendered. Alright, so if I was to make a battle simulator game, what would I do? Actually, if you were to make a battle simulator game, what would you do? I would certainly have it, I don't know, kind of like RTS style, except when you're setting up your units, like you give orders ahead of time, because that way the pressure is kind of off and you can kind of, weirdly enough, that kind of makes it realistic. It's like you have the briefing beforehand, you tell all your dudes where they're supposed to go, and then they go there, and then if the enemy does something that counters your moves, your sweet, sweet moves, yeah, then it would be really cool. Then in whatever single-player campaign, or equivalent of, you'd have to make it so that it's a little bit random each time. So, or just make it so the enemy doesn't do that. Or make it so on different difficulties they maneuver. Actually, that could lend very well into like dynamic difficulty. I guess that's the term for it. I struggle with naming the thing, where it's like difficulty isn't just, you know, easy to hard, and it just changes, shuffles numbers around. I like the kind of difficulty which you'd see in a game like Bastion. Aha, you weren't expecting me to talk about Bastion, were you? Supergiant Games, debut title, and it's still bloody good to this day. But anyway, talking about, like that game, the difficulty in that game is like, basically, you activate, like, various gods, in, like, kind of your temple at the Bastion. So, like, enemies get faster, or enemies get stronger, enemies, like, explode when they die, kind of thing. And that's a way more interesting form of difficulty, I feel, than just making numbers go higher or lower, or having multipliers be higher or lower. So yeah, having something like that in any game, I think would be a lot cooler. It's like max difficulty is like enemies are twice as fast, they do twice as much damage. You like, I don't know, the really hardest difficulty is like there's no like loading a save. If you die, or if you fail, you have to start over from the very beginning. That would be pretty dope. I mean, it would be pretty, like, wrenching your hair out. And yeah, this is my least favorite units in this particular game, is the giant bug faction, because they're gross. I'm not even particularly freaked out by bugs, but, like, giant mantises like this is really nasty. From the nasty corner of the... I was about to say Steam Workshop. Not Steam Workshop, what's it called? The Unity Asset Store. Oh my goodness. Those scorpions, by the way, are nasty as hell. Also, they're poisonous, which is a problem. But once again, the gorillas are winning. There's a win for the gorillas. What the hell? Oh, wow. This is where the kind of fun things happen, is because these mantises, they kind of almost lever themselves over things. Oh boy. I can't help but be amused. I'm probably going to uninstall this game after I've recorded this, but nonetheless, it was a little bit of a giggle. It was a fun video. I think that scorpion just got flung off the edge. That scorpion did get flung off the edge. Now that's a sentence you don't hear very often, is it? The scorpion was flung off the edge. Shocking. Shocking, shocking indeed. Now, what army could possibly beat the giant gorillas? Modern humans. They killed King Kong with bullets, so... I also hate that the crypto bro is a unit in this. Like, I hate that. Like... Jeez, although, like, I don't know, honestly, being reminded that cryptocurrency exists is enough to make me feel depressed. Not to go on a rant on the real world, but it's like, money is fake, but cryptocurrency is like, extra fake. Extra fake, extra fake. Uh-oh, it looks like a whole bunch of guns is precisely what you need for... Wow, that one guy in the middle there is just, his arm's going wacky. Turns out, all you need is a lot of guns. And thus ends the winning streak of the gorillas. But now, it is time for modern mammals, which are super cheap. I actually love the tigers in this game, but unfortunately, I think they're underpowered for what a tiger is. I think, like, when you're making a game that's filled with, like, giant monsters and demons and dinosaurs and stuff like that, you just underestimate, like, I don't know, modern-day wild animals. Like, and of course there's friggin' DLC in this game. This game does like to make money, although I suppose every game does. I once had aspirations of being a game developer, I get it. You want people to make money. How is the longevity of this game, though? Like, how are people... Maybe I'm playing this game wrong and it's all about the wacky things you can build on the workshop and the FPS maps and stuff like that, and not like a full campaign, which is what I would prefer to have, honestly. Ah, dear. What are you doing, past border? Yes, send pigs! Send in pigs. You know you want to. Lots of pigs. I do like that the DLC tends to be cosmetics. And this, by the way, is the counter to mass ranged units. It's just swarms of modern mammals. Particularly the pigs, because they're small and hard to get. Whee! It's a zoo! It's a zoo! It is a zoo! Whee! Uh-oh! Don't turn and run now, you can't outrun a polar bear. Most realistic thing about this game, you cannot outrun a polar bear. So yeah, one of the things that bugs me in this game is how the polar bears and tigers attack things. They don't use their paws, and it sucks. They just kind of run at things mouth first and latch on, and that's not how it would work. The fact that velociraptors can beat tigers one-on-one in this game, of all the things to be upset about, that upsets me, because, like, even the fake, like, Jurassic Park kind of Velociraptor, by the way, shocking, I know, Velociraptor, real life, about the size of a turkey, like, I don't know, Jurassic Park fans, I think, don't really want to hear that anymore, because they've been hearing it for decades, but guess what, Buttercup? That is the case. That, the movie was accurate, actually the books were accurate for the days they were written in, but unfortunately, not so accurate anymore. Also, they're actually Deinonychus, or Deinonychus, depending on how you pronounce it. Yep, there's some lag. That's some lovely physics interactions, isn't it? Just looking into the details there, just seeing tigers, like, hang and mouth first off things, it is... One of the things I like to do in this game, back when I was playing it regularly, is just to see how many tigers it took to take down big things. Sometimes no amount of tigers would take down big things. I figured, like, no amount of tigers can take down a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That elephant just got flung. Deacon's Christmas. My goodness. What was the thing that people were talking about? There's some kind of stupid, like, thing, like, oh, could a bear beat a thing? I think it was... Oh, yeah, no, it was Suchomimus versus Hippo. Like, people were arguing... We're debating whether, like, a Suchomimus could take on a hippopotamus. And honestly, wow. I didn't realize recording that there was a tiger hanging onto that Parasaurolophus off to the right, on the edge of the map, and, straight up bled it out, and then fell off the map. So, We salute you, random tiger number 50. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. And I think another one just took out a Brachiosaurus. No, it didn't. The Brachiosaurus lived. I do like the animations of this game. Delightfully floppy. Delightfully floppy. And now, finally, we get to the carnivore dinosaurs, because that is fun. That is fun, that is cool, and I think at this point I'm just like, how many T-Rexes does it take this on? And the answer is, probably not that many. Because T-Rex. Also, this particular model of the T-Rex has 3 fingers on the hands, which is not ideal. I know it's an incredibly nerd thing for a game like this to start whining about, like, historical accuracy. Historical accuracy? I mean scientific accuracy. But yeah, it's okay, you can tell it's a T-Rex. I do think a lot more love went into certain, like, critters than others, because the T-Rex, beautifully animated, and the nice crunch when it bites down on something small, flings things around. And also with the other predatory dinosaurs, Carnotaurus is really fun in this game. Just that I like how the T-Rex instantly kills small stuff. It's pretty good. I really should have showed off in this little video the flying tigers, because the flying tigers are fun. They are really fun. Okay. Honestly, I should have made a giant flying tiger, because that would have been hilarious and cool. Uh-oh. I think there's only 2 T-Rexes left, and there's a whole bunch of herbivorous things which are very, very angry. Yep. Oh no, the music stopped and I thought it ended, but turns out no. Turns out a lot of pissed off vegetarians can take on a T-Rex. And it's an absolute clusterfluff. And there goes that Rex. Oh, wow, that was cinematic. Sometimes you get cinematic moments, and they are beautiful. Beautiful, I say. Alright, so at this point I'm like, alright, you know what we should do? We should chuck in a whole bunch of Velociraptors, as, I do like how this game has, like, Velociraptors and Deinonychus, or Deinonychus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Tell me if you know how to pronounce that, that's important. But yeah, I think the Velociraptors are still, like, kind of too big. They're, like, people-sized. Did that one just die? No, it didn't. It was just reconsidering its life. But I think they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, which is distract things. Also, fun fact, fun scientific fact about ankylosaurs and the things that would have eaten them. There's this one famous, essentially a mummified dinosaur. A nodosaur, I think it's called. It's like an early lineage of, like, armored dinosaur, similar to ankylosaurs, but not quite. This thing was so well preserved. This thing was so well preserved that the pigments in its skin were fossilized, because that can happen apparently. Like, you get trace levels of pigment that persist in the rock, even after, like, tens of millions of years. Very clever, actually. But they found that there was a kind of reddish-brown pigment on top of the animal and kind of a paler, creamy pigment on the underside of the animal. Now, what does that mean? That is countershading. Countershading is when an animal is dark on top and paler underneath, and that is to cancel out shadows, because it means that the animal, like, essentially is like an even color. When it is standing in light, so to speak, it means that it's just, basically it means it's harder to see. It is a form of camouflage. It's why it's so common among animals of all kinds. Just if you're a lighter color, it makes the shadows, it counteracts the shadows, which is why it's called countershading. It counters shading. What does this mean for our dead dinosaur friend? It means, oh, by the way, triple-headed T-Rex. My stroke of genius of the past. It means that the thing would have tried to hide, which means its armor was not infallible. It means that it would try and roleplay essentially as a rock, which means that there were predators it lived with that could bite its head off. And that's an interesting thing, because that tells you immediately about the life habits and behavior of not only the animal, but also the things it was living with. there were critters that could threaten him. And that is impressive. Right, now let's see if 2 triple Rexes can actually manage to beat however many Rexes are left. 4 of them. And there's 1 Rex bites the dust. That's the thing about triple Rexes. It's 3 times as much Rex. Here's this poor sod just trying to bite the tail, and that's not working very well for you. It is pretty cool how the heads just keep snapping. I like my triple Rex. I do not like the tumors I put around the neck to kind of fill out the, what do you call it? To fill out the gaps in the neck. Probably shouldn't have done that. That's a little bit gross. And it looks like... I don't know, like, would paleontologists be interested in, I guess, a slightly less silly version of this? Just to, like, I don't know, you procedurally generate how these things would have moved and fought. That was pretty epic, honestly. That Lone Star Rex just sealed the deal. And at this point, I was like, alright, you know what would be really fun? Is, having a tag team of triple-headed Rexes and triple-headed Spinosaurus, because that's a thing you can do in this game. I think really for the extra bits you can stick on... Okay, at least 2 armies, whoops. For the extra bits you can stick on your critters, I do have to say, I think the dev just kind of thought to themselves, alright, what's the most cool things? We'll just focus on that. Which actually, now to say it out loud, is quite a pragmatic way to do it. Because you don't want to waste time with things that people aren't interested in. I forget what the difference is between Spinosaurus and T-Rex in terms of like how they fight differently, if they fight differently. Man, that's a lot of blood. Oh, wow. So we've got 2 triple-headed Spinos, Cerberspinos, and Cerberexes. I can't believe that name didn't occur to me before now. I do like how I was moaning earlier about how these are boring, and yet I am heavily invested in this fight that I've already seen before because I am reviewing footage and talking over it. I think I've just proved myself a hypocrite slightly. Not that I'm going to play this game after I'm done recording, because that would be silly. That would be silly and hilarious. I lost, but I won! Team Freaks wins again. Alright. And everyone clear. I'm going to do the classic matchup, I think, which is triple-headed Spinosaurus versus triple-headed Rex, or at least I think that's the one. Yep, that is exactly what I'm doing. I started out with a theme, and the theme is one, and I think I already know how this plays out. The Rexes win. I love how in pretty much every Battle Simulator game, which is this, ARBS, and Beast Battle Simulator, I think the devs made extra sure that the Rex versus Spino, the Rex wins. Because everyone hates Jurassic Park 3. Also, if you're not following up on the extended discourse ever since 2014 with the new discoveries of Spinosaurus, treat yourself. It is paleontological drama and pettiness at its greatest. It keeps flopping back and forth between whether Spinosaurus could swim and whether Spinosaurus could not swim, and whether Spinosaurus mostly hunted in the water, or whether Spinosaurus did not mostly hunt in the water. And also, did Spinosaurus walk on 2 legs, or did Spinosaurus walk on 4 legs? You decide, because the paleontologists are not settling this argument anytime soon. Oh look, the Cerberexes won. Who would have guessed? Nobody would have guessed this. Nobody whatsoever. And I believe right here is where I'm like, right, we're almost done with our half-hour time slot allotted to play this. What can we... Well, how do we finish this off? I believe it was just me having a bunch of T-Rexes plus a Plasma Rex. Yep, Plasma Rex is a thing in this. And just having a whole bunch of... What was I doing here? Fantasy. Just having a dragon. Oh my god, that thing looks really cool. I think I was trying to match the costs of these things. Right, 3 Hydras and a dragon. Versus Plasma Rex. And the dragon's immediately dead. So the Plasma heads are kind of ridiculously powerful, so that Plasma Rex I think is almost unbeatable. Except it could probably get beaten by something which in fact can beat it, so... But yeah, the Plasma does a hell of a lot of damage. I should have turned on health bars. Honestly, I think the Plasma Rex could probably take everything out all on its own, and I think, yep, that's exactly what I'm trying to see here. Also, it is funny, the Hydra, I believe the Hydra actually has leopard sounds, so that's funny. The Hydra in this is actually really cool. Like, if this came off the Unity asset store, then it's a damn good Unity asset. And that Hydra corpse just went flying. Behold the power of plasma. Whee! And nothing stops the Triple Rex. Absolutely nothing. Just flung a Hydra off the edge of the world, as you do. And I believe that's ARBS. That is indeed ARBS. Or is it? Yep, that is ARBS. Nothing more to say about this game. I stand by my statement that battle simulators are boring. You go into them, you play them, and eventually you realize, well, I've seen everything. I will stop now. So, let me know if you agree or disagree. What's your favorite battle simulator? Or your favorite RTS to contrast your least favorite battle simulator? That's a fun thing to think about. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like and comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time in RTS commentary. Farewell!